Yes, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm presenting my topic on new tourism for environmental justice and social sustainability. First, I'll would like to explain the terms mentioned in the topic: the new tourism for environmental justice and social sustainability. New tourism, also known as responsible tourism or sustainable tourism, and it refers to a modern approach to travel that emphasizes on minimizing the negative impacts of environment, culture, and society of the destination visited. It seeks to promote ethical and sustainable practices in tourism practices. Main focus area is environmental sustainability. Second is cultural respect, in which they aim at preserving and respecting the local culture, traditions, and heritage, and ensure that that the tourism contributes to the cultural exchange and understand rather than they exploit the tourist products. There's also economic benefits of creating jobs for local communities and business for local communities. The other aspect and focus is social equity. It promotes inclusiveness and equity, ensuring that tourism benefits are fairly distributed amongst all the stakeholders, including the marginalized and disadvantaged groups. Another focus area is community involvement. It also helps in engaging the local community in tourism planning and decision making, and ensures that their voice are also heard and create a more responsible and balanced experience between both tourists and also the host community.
Yeah, your slide is not moving, Kushbuji.
Ma'am, I'm only describing the topic, the terms first, and then I'll come back to the slides again.
Okay.
We're talking about environmental justice. Previously, we already had a session on this. Environmental justice is a fair treatment and meaningful involvement of all the people, regardless of race, color, national origin, or income, in development, implementations, and enforcement of environmental laws, regulation, and policies. It also seeks to ensure that no group of people, particularly marginalized or disadvantaged communities, bear a disproportionate share of negative environmental consequences resulting from industrial, government, and commercial operations. The third and important aspect of this topic is social sustainability, which refers to the ability of a society to maintain and improve the well-being of its current and future members. It also involves creating an equitable and inclusive environment that supports human rights, social justice, and fair access to resources and opportunity. Social sustainability focuses on all the aspects, including education, healthcare, employment, housing, community cohesion, aiming to foster a social capital and resilience in the face of challenges and changes. Tourism development and environmental sustainability. Tourism development has both socioeconomic advantages and adverse environmental effects. It stimulates travel, exploration, and interaction with natures and cultures and societies. However, it can lead to environmental degradation due to factors like land overutilization, pollution, and intrusion from external cultures. Balancing the business and the environment. A sustainable ecotourism framework aims to balance business interests with environmental conservation. Government supports a policy interventions plays a moderating role in maintaining the ecological systems. What are the socio-economic benefits? It provides employment, business opportunities, and infrastructural growth. However, the state of natural and environmental capital may degrade over time. What are social vulnerabilities? There's overutilization of the land, there's traffic congestion, solid waste accumulation, pollution affecting the social environment. Local communities may face challenges due to these impacts. These photographs have been taken from my field study. I'm also incorporating the review of literature, where it says the tourism is an industry which uses the host community as a resource to sell its product, and in the process also affect the lives of everyone. here the person is being impacted by the foreign tourist influx, the pattern of his dressing up and the food and everything is being impacted. This is also a picture from my field study, where we also say that tourism is product that relies totally upon the simultaneous production and consumption.
Khushbuji, your slides are not moving. You can, since it's Word, you can.
Is it moving?
It's not moving. You can stop the share and then try sharing again.
Okay, sure. Is it visible now?
But we cannot see the full screen. You can continue on working mode only.
But in my place it is showing full screen.
Yeah, but we cannot see.
Which slide are you saying? Community-based tourism?
No, we are on just the first slide.
Oh.
No, you stop share and then share again and then don't go full screen.
Why is it happening again?
That happens sometimes, no issues.
Is it visible now?
Yes. Now keep changing slides from here only.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay. According to Shalu, it is difficult to define the term community precisely. Nevertheless, the word can be used to refer the group of people who exist in one particular location. Host societies are in fact communities made of community is defined as a group of people who share common goals or opinions. Here, all those who live within the tourist destinations have common goals, and they are whether they are homogeneous or heterogeneous, regardless of whether the impact of tourism are beneficial or otherwise, they all have common motives and common goals. There's community-based tourism, where there's a shift towards in which the local communities is actively involved in planning and participation. Reversing community for the contribution to the land ensures more equitable practices. There are ethical dimensions in tourism, which considers impacts on local communities, the environment, and also the cultural heritage. Sustainable development should prioritize social justice and participation in also the political processes. By integrating environmental justice, social sustainability, and community involvement, we can create more balanced and responsible approach to tourism that benefits both people and the planet. There's a case study on ecotourism in Costa Rica. I'm just referring to this, and I've also taken the screen. The screen has vanished again. Is it visible again?
No, it's not visible.
Yes, and don't go full screen. Don't go full screen. Don't go full screen.
Okay.
फिर से stop and share again.
Shall I stop and again share?
Yes.
Is it showing?
Yes, आप full screen मत जाइए. हाँ, यहीं से change करिए. Yes.
अच्छा ठीक है. Yeah, there's a case study of ecotourism in Costa Rica, where which aims to balance environmental conservation. The ecotourism aims at balancing the environmental conservation, economic development, and social equity. Since it is rich in its biodiversity, over 25% of its land is designated as protected areas, including the national parks, wildlife refuges, and the biological reserves. Environmental justice in Costa Rica ecotourism sector involves ensuring the local community benefit from the tourism while preserving their natural resources. In this initiative, community is also involved. There are conservation efforts. There's sustainable practices also into play. And there are also certification for sustainable tourism programs established by the Costa Rican Tourism Board that rates businesses based on their environmental impact and sustainable practices. Social sustainability in ecotourism focuses on improving the well-being of local communities, promoting the cultural heritage, and also ensuring equitable and economic opportunities. In Costa Rica, this achievement is through local employment and training. Cultural preservation is being done. Revenue sharing is also being done. So, in a way where profit from ecotourism are often reinvested in community development projects such as school, healthcare, facilities, and infrastructure. This ensures that economic benefit is also imparted along with a community development is also happening. There are challenges to these things also. The first is there's over tourism. Since these areas are popular destinations, there's overcrowding and there are also degradation of the local resources. They're balancing development and conservation, ensuring the tourism development, environmental and social goals requires careful planning and regulations. And their government and NGOs work in promoting those sustainable practices. There's economic inequality as well. The efforts to expand community-based tourism projects are being done. Costa Rica demonstrate how tourism can be a powerful tool for achieving environment and social goals. I've concluded the thing that new tourism are environmentally sensitive and respectful towards the culture of the host and learn from experiences at the destination. There are no more inactive guests who are mere spectators. They equally participate in the activities involved at tourist destination. They resort to sustainable tourist practices that are economically viable and socially responsible. Tourism often brings environmental degradation, and new tourism tries to overcome such challenges. New tourism aims at engaging both tourists and also the host community to promote sustainability. It seeks ensures that technology and measures used are environmentally sounder, and the need for more experienced tourists, use of ecological materials, installations of new renewable energy sources, etc., are some issues being addressed in this new kind of tourism. And in my case, I'm focusing on a case study on the area I studied, which is Rishikesh. So I'll give a comparative in the way Costa Rica case study has been done. So I'll be enlisting the some of the key points on that in my essay.
So you are coming out with a research paper, huh?
Yes.
Thank you. Good.
Thank you, Khushbu Dattaji.
Thank you.
So, Charji, are you ready? Hello.
Hello, I would.
Asha.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes, boliye.
Kindly introduce yourself first.
Okay. So, my name, am I audible? Am I clearly
Yes.
audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So, my name is Ehsan, and I am a lawyer, and I did my postgraduate just last year. And after that, after a very brief litigation experience in Delhi, I moved back to Lucknow, and I joined as a legal consultant in State Institute of Rural Development. So, the theme of the course, which is like bridging gaps in policy enforcement, it's like true to what I set out to do in the near future. So that's why I've joined the program. So
What are you working on in terms of project?
sure. So this is my topic of my assignment will be critical reflections on empowerment of women through legal literacy.
Ehsanji, you can try going full screen.
Yeah. What are you saying?
Full screen.
Full screen. Try to go full screen. वहीं पे slide show है.
I'm going full screen. Is it visible?
Yes.
Screen is visible, लेकिन full screen नहीं हुआ. ऊपर आप देख रहे हैं ना, होम इंसर्ट, ड्रॉ डिजाइन, ट्रांजिशन, एनिमेशन, उसके बगल में ही है स्लाइड शो. हाँ, उसके राइट स्लाइड शो. या फ्रॉम स्टार्ट, सबसे पहला वाला.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So since it's a critical reflection, I want to reflect on like what's the problems with the law, particularly law, like Soumya ma'am also mentioned in the last session, okay, law is not the only solution. So like since independence, various laws have been passed which are designed to protect the interests of women, be it Domestic Violence Act, be it Sexual Harassment at Workplace Act. But the real question is that are these women reaping the benefits of these progressive laws? So the answer is clearly no, because although we are improving as a nation, but still a lot needs to be done. So like there is a gap that exists between the formal let me there's a gap that exists between the formal equality and the substantive inequality that continues to characterize women's life. Although laws promise equal opportunity and equality in status, but women lack access to effective enforcement mechanism. They are not aware of their rights. They may be facing like social and pressures within their families and communities to make a claim for their rights. And they may lack economic and geographical and even political access to the legal system. And as a result of like cultural and social conditioning, women themselves lay down injunctions that sanction violence against them. For example, the dictum taught by mothers and their mothers-in-law to young girls that a woman's only home is her married home. So there are several reports that showcase that reveal that women are at as much as they are at risk inside their hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are at risk. They are prone to sexual harassment, sexual violence, sexual uh, uh, assault within their homes. Many a times the assailants are normally the people within their family. So are they face backlash by the society and family in reporting their own family members as an assailant, and there are instances of police report not being launched or withdrawal due to pressures by society. So the strategy of like using the discourse of rights in the courts preclude an analysis factors responsible for crimes of such nature. That is the unequal economic relationship between men and women and the patriarchal relationships on which family is based. So I'm trying to give the present status of legal literacy programs in India. So the National Commission of Women and National Legal Service Authority in 2020 it launched a pan-India legal awareness campaign to teach practical information about legal rights and remedies under various women-related legislation. So uh, women and girls are educated on their rights under numerous laws, including penal code, or as a part of this program. Now, in another effort, the NCW has also recently launched an app, which is Her Legal Guide, which focuses on rights and statutes pertaining to women in India. So just with one click, it is expected to empower women. But we need to critically examine it in the light that how many the gender divide in digital literacy in India. The National Family Health Survey shows that only 50% of women in India have access to smartphones, which they actually use by themselves. So we have to adopt like as you said, an intersectional approach to analyze the problem of gender inequality. The second is the Department of Justice has introduced a scheme on access to justice titled Designing Innovative Solution for Holistic Access to Justice for a period of 5 years from 2021 to 2026. It's a pan-legal legal literacy and awareness program that to enable vulnerable sections of society to have access to information about their rights, entitlements, and creating better legal awareness. So as a part of my assignment, I have filed RTIs to legal Department of Justice, and also to Public Institute of Public Administration, which is located in Delhi. So as per their website, they have shown that Institution of Public Administration will be evaluating and monitoring all the schemes under Disha, that all the programs that have been running under Disha. So I have asked them that on what parameters are they no are they calculating the effectiveness of this program. So that will give me a comprehensive, by the time I'll be able to like shape up the final article, it will give me comprehensive information on which I can comment about the effectiveness of the program. As you have seen, the legal literacy is often advocated as a means of realizing the formal rights guaranteed by law. The lack of awareness of these rights is seen as a major factor in the gap between the formal rights of women and other disadvantaged groups, and continuing social and economic inequality of these groups. So according to this approach, the crux of the presentation is this. According to this approach, legal literacy involves educating people about their legal rights so that they will be in a position to enforce these rights. But it essentially is an information giving model. Access to information about right is seen as the first and significant step towards ensuring women access to law. The standard approach is to convey the information about the law through lectures, pamphlets, one-day seminars in which participants are passive and uncritical listeners. So what are the possible solutions? An interactive approach to education must be adopted in which women actively participate in the learning process. There are several NGOs which have been doing such work, but my article will focus on states' responsibility. So what programs are states running and how effective they are. So local women should be encouraged to form a problem-solving or self-help group. Once the group is formed, an attempt should be made to create an environment in which women feel emboldened to discuss their problems and try to solve them through negotiation and legal procedures if required. To achieve this task, women are educated on various legal issues concerning them as divorce, maintenance, property rights, healthcare, rape, sexual harassment. Perhaps the most important outcome of the project, of such approach would be the transformation of rural women from being dependent and vulnerable citizens who are restricted to their homes into confident individuals coming out of their homes and visiting government office, police stations, block panchayat office, and so forth, so on and so forth. So working in self-help groups and various committees has also promoted a culture of self-learning, thus enabling women to take up problem-solving roles in the future. So this method will be actually empowering, will empower women. So the putting an end to gender-based discrimination in a country where religion, I can't see what's written. Just give me a minute. Where religion and traditions and social attitudes sanction inequality is an enormously difficult task. And the legal literacy programs must also include changing both women and men's attitude to human rights and gender equality. Sensitization of society through every means available regarding gender equality and women empowerment would greatly help in humanizing modern Indian society. The solution lies in educating children from an early age. In this context, another alternative method could be like community awareness against sexual discriminations can be achieved by involving basic workers at grassroots level. So such workers can spread the message more effectively as their acceptance at the community level is very good. Anganwadi workers are important in this context of providing knowledge through integrated child development service program. They can they can be seen as a vital change mediators in elimination of girl-child discrimination prevalent in the society. The spectrum of services at Anganwadi Center, including supplementary nutrition, basic healthcare, and preschool education, offers a unique opportunity to address for spreading awareness against gender discrimination. So, at last, I want to conclude by quoting the words of Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. So, according to him, the legal concept of women's rights is not only a woman concern. Awareness is not only a women's issue. Awareness about rights of women can be truly meaningful if that awareness is creating amongst the younger generation of men in our society. Because I believe that the deprivation of rights of women, if we have to find an answer to them, the origin must be in the changing of mindset, both of men and women. The more we realize that the category of women encompasses various social, economic, and political disadvantages, the more we will be able to cater to their individualized and actual needs. True freedom for women, in other words, is truly intersectional. So that's it.
Very comprehensive work.
Yeah,
Yes,
in the
that's
last, this is
actually-
the work which I've been doing. I've with NCW, I have conducted some legal literacy programs, but it's just one-day seminar, and I've realized that the inequalities are structural and they have been practiced over ages. So one-day seminar just giving information is not enough.
Very important. On a day-to-day life, it has to be integrated, the efforts.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ehsan Jamil ji.
You
Now,
can convert it into a research paper, no? It
Yes,
can also
ma'am.
be-
I'm waiting for the responses from the RTI that I have filed. So once they come, then
Yeah, that
I'll be
would
able
make
to-
add a massive value to your work.
yeah, so that I can actually like see how effective these programs are.
Can I just give you two points just to think about? The one is that you can also file RTI about how much money NALSA or National Legal Service Authority is spending on legal literacy program, because they have budgets fixed for everything. So you can just find out. It may be there on the website, or you can file RTI for that. Second is about there's a provision when you talk about Anganwadi workers being given this role of conducting legal literacy sessions. There is one scheme called paralegals, which was introduced by NALSA. There was a lot of discussion about it, and some of the NGOs, they've started doing work on that. So maybe just finding out what this paralegal scheme was, and where it has reached. Is NALSA doing something on the scheme? So these are just 2 points which you can
Also about Nirbhaya Fund, no? That
Nirbhaya Fund also.
since 2013, why there is so much of unutilized fund. If you can have a section on that, because there's so much, it could be used for gender equality purposes. Please unmute yourself. You're muted. Unmute.
kindly unmute yourself, Ehsan Jamil ji.
So ma'am, I've proposed like one gender sensitization program of Anganwadi, but it's pending because of lack of funds. The proposal is pending since last 3 months, and I have drafted the entire proposal and sent it to NCW on their request only. But after elections, they said we will be able to provide funds only after election, but there is no funds actually. So that's the main problem which I'm facing in running these programs.
But one more proposal you can make on from Nirbhaya Fund also. Or, or Mission Shakti. Mission Shakti, they are releasing. There's a student of mine. She has joined as a young officer in Ladakh. She sent the proposal. She got the funds also.
Okay.
Gender sensitization fund. She got.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ehsan Jamil ji. Now we would like to invite Professor VIBHUTI Patel ji for her remarks on this presentation.
Yeah, I think the presentation was very comprehensive, and he has also done a major review, and being a legal practitioner, also knows the issues on this. But I think budgetary allocation, very important issue, which even Dr. Shalu also said. But it's not only ICDS, because ICDS, the Anganwadi workers are overworked and they have too many things to do. Okay, food and nutrition and awareness and door-to-door services and all. But I think VIBHUTI fund, which is a dedicated fund to deal with gender-based violence, I think that is a massive underutilization. And about that also, there should be proposal should be sent, and also RTI, because why there is such a big variation, why certain states are able to utilize it 30, 40, 50%, which is also not adequate, but there are states after states and union territories where there is a zero utilization. So is it a lack of political will? Money is parked in the ministry, why doesn't it get utilized? I think that would add tremendous value to the work which Mr. Ehsan Jamil has done on gender equality through legal literacy.
We
Thank
would
you.
also like
Thank you so
Advocate
much for your
Dr.
remarks.
Shalu Nikamji for her remarks on this presentation.
Yeah, it's a very wonderful presentation. Like, it's a very basic thing, and not many people have, done this kind of survey or research. So basically, your research will do a lot of favor to, the kind of programs and schemes which are going on. So, but basically, just general things like, basically the funding part, and also how much fund is being utilized, because
Yes,
allocation of
sir.
fund is one aspect, and spending is another aspect, because a lot of times we have heard that even the Nirbhaya fund, lot of funding has been spent on
Only publicity.
advertisements and other things, and not on actual programs. So that is one thing which you can also highlight in your presentation. So this is just one small suggestion which I just
Very
put in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Now we would like Zarna ji to present her creative project.
Hi, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are audible.
Very good evening, Professor Vibhuti Patel, Dr. Shalu Nigam, Ritika ji, and all my fellow IMPRI mates. I'm really happy to share my presentation. My name is Jharna. I'm based out of Ahmedabad. I work with Confederation of Indian Industry as a policy maker, or rather as somebody who deals with policy makers from the industries and the government. And can I share my screen quickly for
Yes.
the presentation?
Right.
Yes, you can.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So basically, the topic of my research. Just a minute. So the topic of my research presentation, or rather, the abstract and the paper that I'll be submitting is future proofing India, integrating aging population consideration into policy and planning. So while dealing with a lot of policy matters and going through a lot of surveys, existing material, what we've realized is there is a section of society which is the aging population of India, which is often people really miss out on. We don't put much much consideration to this section of society. So because of this, I thought of taking up this project and doing some research on it. So very quickly, I just wanted to start with. So basically, we all know that currently India is a young country and it has a young population, and more than 50% of its population is below the age of 25 years. And in the coming years, when we speak of Viksit Bharat at 2047, when we say that India will become a 5 trillion economy in 2047, during its 100th year of independence, we are slowly seeing that India's demographic landscape is undergoing a significant transition. The elderly population is projected to surge, and in the coming years, these trends, necessitate a proactive approach to policy and planning, and we must acknowledge the challenges and opportunities presented by this demographic to ensure a future-proof India that caters to all the ages. During this Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit 2024, Niti Aayog along with BCG and CII released this document, which was vision document for Viksit Bharat at 2047. This document essentially has two chapters. One is earning well and another one is living well. So while the earning well chapter necessarily talks about industrial development, economic development, the living well chapter talks about social and educational development. But while this economic development is crucial, ensuring the well-being of our senior citizens is equally important. And we note that there is a gap in reports focus on social and economic aspects of senior living. And this presentation and my research paper will explore the areas where we can bridge this gap and create a more holistic vision for an inclusive India. So here are some quick statistics as far as these reports go. I have cited some existing reports that India has surpassed China as world's most populous country with over 1.43 billion people by mid-2023. The population of 60-year-old is around 153 million, and it is projected to reach a staggering 347 million by 2050. The median age is expected to rise from around 23 years in 2000 to around 38 years in 2050. So this demographic shift underscores the growing importance of addressing needs and challenges of an aging population in India, and it plays a critical role in shaping nation's future social and economic future landscapes. So as we see that there will be an elderly population in the next, say 25 years, there are some potential challenges. One is definitely economic burden, like with a significant rise in the elderly population, the economic burden on India's social security systems and healthcare costs is expected to increase. Unfortunately, there will be a decrease in productivity as the workforce shrinks due to the aging population. India's economic growth would be hindered. And as far as social challenges go, the traditional joint family system in India, which has historically supported the elderly family members, may face an increasing pressure. And with societal changes and urbanization, issues such as loneliness, elder abuse, mental health problems, among other among other problems that elder people face may increase. So these are some of the problems. Now there have been some reports, like there was a report by Niti Aayog, there was a report by KPMG, there was a report by PwC, which does address these challenges, but the gaps are that those reports are not holistic. They speak of the existing nature of the society while not underscoring any importance to the planning or policy making front. So these are the existing reports that I spoke about. As I mentioned, there are a lot of gaps. So can I go to the next slide?
Yes.
So there are a lot of challenges, and I'll probably share this. So the way forward in building a socially inclusive future for all ages, and this paper will deal with recommendations and will encompass a lot of interviews where we'll do some content analysis of the interviews in filing those recommendations. So building a future-proof India requires a multi-pronged approach. By investing in healthcare infrastructure, skilling initiatives, and social security mechanisms, we can ensure the well-being of our senior citizens. Additionally, promoting intergenerational solidarity and leveraging the experience of senior will enrich our society as a whole. These are some of the aspects and metrics that I'll be working on. One will be definitely the healthcare infrastructure for the senior citizens, promoting skilling and reskilling programs, uh, ensuring justice and legal protections, because that is what we've learned about in the last 1 month at IMPRI, strengthening social security and providing financial security. These are the 4 metrics that I'll be working on. Based on these, above metrics that I spoke about, the policy level interventions that we may require moving ahead would be a national senior care policy, which will have which will be a comprehensive policy that addresses healthcare, social security, skilling, and legal protections for the elderly. This policy should provide a framework for the state level as well as the national level implementations. National level and state level skilling and reskilling initiatives for seniors. A report should be launched, or a white paper should be provided, that should address what is the scenario in the job market, and how there is a gap, and what is the existing scenario and what are the gaps for senior citizens as far as the job market goes. Strengthening social security schemes. It includes expanding existing social security schemes like pensions, and exploring options for universal basic income for senior citizens. Legal aid for senior citizens, which provides access to free legal aid and representation for senior citizens, empowering them to navigate legal complexities and uphold their rights. Senior citizen friendly court procedures. This should include implementation of simplified procedures and dedicated support staff in courts to make navigating the legal system easier for senior citizens. The methodology that I'll be using will be a mixed method approach. One would be the content analysis of the existing reports and existing content. The other would be interviews with key stakeholders, which would be policymakers, NGO workers, senior citizens, industry leaders, government authorities. I'll try and get in touch with the state government as well as the national government, and content analysis of the reports like I spoke about, and also the content analysis of interview pieces, based on which some recommendations will be drawn on these 5 matrix, which is health, skilling, social security, financial security, legal aid, and all these 4 policy interventions that I spoke about. In conclusion, I would like to add that in our journey to becoming Viksit Bharat at 2047, supporting the aging population is crucial to enhancing the fabric of the society, and by proactively addressing their needs, including legal and social aspects, we ensure their well-being, dignity, and active participation in community life. This not only fosters intergenerational harmony but also promotes a culture of respect for elders, recognizing their contributions to the society. In this research, I will also do one thing, which is, providing a cohesive definition of what an elderly person means. Like, what is the age bar defined by the, census, defined by the government of India? What is the aging population? Like, what is the bracket? It will also have definition and points addressing challenges of various groups, vulnerable groups such as elderly people from the economically weaker sections, women and their empowerment, rural and urban population divide. And The limitations would be that since it is not an expertise of mine, I may not cover the queer section in this. But this is this is an overview of what I'll be doing and when I submit my research paper. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I would like to invite Professor Vibhuti Patel ji for her remarks on this presentation.
Yeah. Jannaji, congratulations for making such an exhaustive presentation, and you have already worked with the with the industry uh, and also work with the Niti Aayog. But I think the way you are putting forward as a challenge, economic burden, we need to learn from other countries. Like when Vietnam became independent in 1975, because of American bombing, 40% of the population either had one leg or no arms, or massive physical injuries had happened to the population. But it was the organization, the way they organized according to the ability of a person, using modern technology. They were making they were making contribution to the economy. So I think putting it as an economic burden of senior citizen, I think we can learn a lot from East European countries, even some Scandinavian countries, where people are working even at the age of 82 and 85, because with the technological aid, and nature of work changes. Like if you see in Singapore, you would see everyone working. Elderly people, earlier they were doing highly manual work and arduous work, long walking, long traveling. Later on, in the old age, they are provided renewal. They have a renewal mission, no? So those who get displaced from one job, you get into another kind of a job. So you become a watchman, or you become a liftman, or you become a messenger. So that kind of. So this economic burden argument doesn't hold water if we see examples of several Asian countries, as well as even the war-torn countries, the way they rejuvenated, like Somalia or Rwanda, or even countries like, as I told, Singapore. Singapore was what? It was a monocrop country, small little city state, no, only cultivating rice. And where is it? So it is also the public policy and the planning, and how human resource planning you do. How did they opted when the economy was fast changing? At that time, they had a renewal mission. They give so many options to the workforce. Those who could not adjust to modern technology, or those who could, they were given different type of job, of just this thing, or according to age and gender, and the role in the economy. So I think that you just read little more literature and change your language, because this horror story of economic burden because of population is aging, it just doesn't go by the facts that we see. Japan, okay, Japan age at life expectancy has increased to 92. People are alive in one family. There are 4 generations, no? And how are they coping? And do you think that the economy has slowed down? No. There are so many other positive element of reorganization of the economy, keeping the workplace closer to your residents. So many different methods that they have utilized. Or I saw in New York that all the vehicles had a disabled-friendly public transport. No, so people could not, even the person in wheelchair could go to the workplace, because that time the ladder would become a slope. So this kind of technology that they are doing. So the question of reduction in low productivity and economic burden, these two, I think you need to focus, do a little more research. Another thing that you say, that you will not include queer population in that, because whatever is applicable to all generations, or social security, social protection, all those 5 points which you have elicited, no, as a recommendation, I think that should apply to them also. Only one more thing you need for peer population is, because they are abandoned by their own biological family, and they don't have support of their own biological, the kinship network, state has to take more proactive. So you need homes, the way we have a currently, what is it called? They call it dignity homes, no? For transgender population. Yeah. So in that, they have to give adequate budget. Unit cost has to be increased, no? So instead of leaving out those who are most marginalized, I think it's better to be inclusive. No? That's my suggestion. And there is UN Women has come up with the budget for gender responsive budgeting for transgender population. If you want, I can even share that document. But I think you should not leave it out.
That would be a
in your
great help.
recommendation. Yeah, because that would become a major point of criticism of your paper. You may be get lot of adverse remarks
I
on your
think, ma'am, I'll definitely have to, get back to you for understanding more about this. Since, as I mentioned, I don't have many experts in my, I can touch base with, as far as getting, the queer part included in this. So I'll definitely, as you suggested, will take help from you. The paper that you,
Right?
also,
And
sorry, the
your this
budget.
book is very progressive. The alternatives you are suggesting, yeah, that they are excellent. All the alternatives you have suggested are excellent. Only thing, the language that you are using in terms of no community would like to be classified as burdensome.
Noted.
There was a time where they were all the policies and planners, if you see before 1975, were treating women as a burden. No, they were put in this because mufat ki roti todti hai. That was the kind of mentality even our economists and even our policy makers had, which changed after 6 5-year plan, because there was a towards equality report. They said no, women are not burden on the economy. They are making contribution because of their work is not non-market work. Non-market work doesn't mean that we are not contribution to the GDP. The invisible work or the non-recognized work or unpaid work, because women largely do unpaid work. And that we have to acknowledge. And then you can see in 2005, when National Institute of Public Planning and Policy prepared the first budget, gender responsive budget, in the introduction, they had run. Earlier, what was used to be the introduction? Indian women are largely housewives. And they don't make any contribution, productive contribution to the economy. That language changed. And this NIPFP report says that we accept that when women entered the larger economy, they are already exhausted because they have done a lot of unpaid care work for the families, for the communities, and even for the economy, because you work in your farm, you work in the forest, but you are not paid. That doesn't mean that you are not contributing. No. So I think language is very important. So even with regard to person with disability or even elderly people, using the term economic burden is highly objective.
Noted.
But otherwise it's excellent work that you have done. Yeah, a lot of labor has gone into it. We can see it. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your valuable insights.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to invite Advocate Dr. Shalu Nigamji for her remarks on this presentation.
Yeah, it's a wonderful presentation. You've done a lot of work, as Professor Patel has said. But just 2 points. One is about the how women are being treated in this entire periphery, entire scheme. Because when we talk about the single women, the widow women, because during the old age, the heterosexual families otherwise are not desirable, because the government, as we have Professor Soumya Umar, she has discussed, that even in the programs and policies, we talk about heterosexual families, but now with the increase of single women who are coming in, so what are the provisions being made for single women, in all such policies, single elderly women? Second is about you talk about legal aid, to senior citizens. So in that case, there is a law which is Senior Citizens Act. So for that, the government has made special provisions. So you can look into that, because there are very very few studies being done on that law. So maybe how this law is being implemented, what are the problems litigants are facing while coming to the courts, because they have special provisions called, where you can go to a DM, like a district magistrate, or so what are the provisions being made there? Is there, if people find it suitable, or they're finding problem with it, so you can look into that aspect also.
You mean both 2007 and 2011, both?
Yeah, yes.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you so much for your insights. And in fact, the point that you mentioned, single women, and I was just going to add this into this women and their empowerment. There is a chapter that I'm planning to include, so definitely these insights and these points can be added to that chapter.
Thank you.
Have a huge material with you, yeah, and access also to all the official documents.
Sure, ma'am.
It's the advantage. Yes.
Thank you, Zarna Udasi ji. Now I would like invite anyone who would like to present
Chahak Pugalia.
their creative project.
Chahak ji, are you ready? Because today we had 3 presentations. Now Chahak ji, sir, if she's ready, then she can. Otherwise, we'll wrap up. Hello, are you there? Hello, Chahak ji, are you there?
Ma'am, she's not responding.
Okay, yeah.
Then, ma'am, we can move towards closing remarks by Professor Patel.
Yeah, okay. So, in the closing remark, I think first of all, we have to thank Dr. Arjun Kumar, Dr. Simi Mehta, and whole IMPRI team for such a nicely curated course that they envisaged, and also the excellent experts we got, and all these 6 days were highly productive. Lot of deliberations took place on critical issues at the intersection of law, public policy, governance, and social justice. And as it was declared in the statement in the course also, that the pursuit of justice has long stood as a cornerstone of human society, emphasizing inseparable link between law, democratic governance, justice, which is also with its ramifications as the social justice, economic justice, environmental justice, distributive justice, and also gender justice. And it is a fundamental and inherent human right enshrined in the Constitution, ensuring easy access to legal recourse. And all the sessions, the legal hand-ons of Dr. Shalu Nigam with a concrete grounded reality were extremely useful, insightful, and it also showed how once we are legally aware, how we can creatively use it. And in the contemporary times, we have seen that the efficacy of the rule of law is intimately tied to accessing the justice, and especially those for the vulnerable section of society, judicial activism, right to information, lok adalat. All these things are important instruments, and even global instruments. The way that the movement has used global instrument for fight against manual scavenging and also the caste-based discrimination. The administration of justice serves as a mechanism through which rule of law upholds rights and also ensures equitable treatment to the citizens. Innumerable examples were shared by the experts from different regions, from different sections of society, and from different historical period, and how slowly and gradually our horizons of human rights and affirmative action started expanding. And we have seen the timely and convenient pursuit of justice. I think the very first lecture by Mr. Shailesh Gandhi was on the timely justice. The justice is delayed, is justice denied. That's what he said. So what kind of legal avenues we have? The pressure of almost all experts, they say that law alone is not enough. We need to have people's movement. We need to have the social movements which can ensure that principles of impartiality or transparency or effective justice or accountability of the governance structure is ensured. And that is why access to justice that should be equally available, irrespective of your caste, class, ethnicity, color, race, ability, religion, and all the other forms of intersectional vulnerabilities. I think they can be addressed by the social movement. We also had a very detailed discussion on the UN system and what kind of global instruments we had, whether it was a CEDAW or various covenants or 4 generations of human rights, and also some special this thing about the cross-country relations and the policies which the nation states are adopting. So I think that is also important sector. And in the Indian context, access to justice, it not only a fundamental aspect of rule of law, but it also protected by our domestic law, and we have drawn heavily on the international human rights conventions, right from the Article 14 to Article 21 of Indian Constitution, the individual fundamental right to access to justice and the principle which are upheld by the lower courts, session courts, high courts and Supreme Court, and so many landmark judgments which were discussed by several experts, Dr. Shalu, Nigam, Dr. Vaidya Nayanar, and Dr. Soumya Uma today. I think they have enriched our understanding and made us more confident to use these instruments as conscious citizens, as legal practitioners, as researchers, and as academicians and teachers and trainers. So I think legal aid programs or campaigns play a pivotal role in expanding access to justice for all members of society. I think that is the learning we have had of all these 6 days and 18 sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. As we come to the end of the LPPYF Law and Public Policy Youth Fellowship Cohort 3.0 Summer 2024 Advancing Justice, Bridging Gaps in Public Policy Enforcement, an online national summer school program, a 1-month immersive online law and public policy awareness certificate training course and internship program, I, Ritika Pandey, researcher at IMPRI, Impact and Policy Research Institute, would like to propose the formal vote of thanks on behalf of IMPRI, New Delhi. We are grateful to our experts for the Day 6 session, Professor VIBHUTI Patel-ji, Professor Soumya Uma-ji, for taking out their valuable time and allowing us to learn from this online certificate program. We extend our heartfelt gratitude for all the experts who guided us throughout this fellowship program. We thank our chair, Professor VIBHUTI Patel-ji, and our legal advisor, Advocate Dr. Shalu Nigamji, for convening all these sessions. We thank all of our participants who have raised pertinent questions and actively participated in the deliberation throughout this program. A feedback form will be shared with you all via email. You will receive the certificate after the submission of the feedback form. We are grateful if you are watching us later on YouTube or listening to us on various podcasts or reading our publication. We hope you continue to join in future to our IMPRI Web Policy Talk and Web Policy Learning. Wishing you a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are so privileged.
Thank you, Ritika. Yeah, I think all of us, your participants, made the discussion and deliberation so lively and kept us motivated till the end. So very important discussions. And Dr. Shalu Nigam, yeah, you want to have last words? She's the one who had curated the course in collaboration with the IMPRI team.
Just would like to thank you, ma'am, for for chairing this, all these sessions and so wonderfully, bringing together the data which is presented by different speakers. So thanks to you, and thanks to IMPRI team for putting this program together, and thanks to the participants who have made a lot of efforts in presenting. Last week they have presented, and today also. So wonderful presentations. A lot of hard work has gone into it. So hopefully we'll have a beautiful publications in future. So thanks to all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.